Welcome back to Business 110. This morning we're going to talk about Chapter 6, all about entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs are folks that go out and on their own start a business. So lots of risk when you take on a business, but as we've learned in Chapter 1, with lots of risk tends to come high reward. So many of your multimillionaires, entrepreneurs like Roy Kroc, who founded McDonald's, all through history, the Vanderbilts, the Carnegies, a lot of rewards to entrepreneurs, but the failure rate's quite high. I don't know the exact stats, probably 3/4 of all businesses that start are out of business after the first 3 or 4 years. So some of the keys is make sure you do something you love, because it's going to be incredibly long hours. You're not going to need to be somebody who's a risk-adverse person, because you're going to be up all night with ulcers. You got to be a person who loves a challenge and a strong desire for independence, because you're running the business. Lots of good news about small business entrepreneurs. They create 75% of all new jobs in America. And 97% of all the non-farm businesses are small businesses. So some of the common mistakes or advice if you want to go into business, and there's lots of resources on this, Entrepreneurial Magazine, etc. One of the biggest ones is before you go into business, get lots of advice. Learn from others. Go study people, particularly in other towns that are doing what you might want to do. Get some experience. If you want to start an ice cream store, work as an ice cream person in an ice cream store for several months. And if you can avoid it, don't quit your current job. That'll reduce the risk. You've got something to fall back on. Biggest reason they tend to fail is capital. I always say to folks, if you think it's going to cost you $100, plan on it costing you 3 times $300. Lots of times they're undercapitalized. The other thing is, lots of times as the entrepreneurial business grows, the skill set tends to change. Like if I might be the best hamburger maker in the world, but once I start getting 3 or 4 hamburger stores, and now the skill set changes from me being a great hamburger maker to me being a great manager of other hamburger makers or trainer of other hamburger makers, that might not be what my skill set is. And if the hamburger maker happens to be my brother, which lots of times in family businesses it becomes a very sticky situation. The book talks about putting a business plan together, which is a great way for you to think about what's coming up. But remember, a business plan in and of itself it's the actions you take that's going to make the success of the business. Several sections. There's an executive summary, a management you talk about how you're going to finance the business, how you're going to market it, what capital requirements, where you're going to be located. So it's kind of like a business plan is kind of like you're taking a test drive on paper of the business. So you think through as many of the potential pitfalls or situations and how you're going to handle those. So it's a great idea. Great way to get funding. If you want people to invest in your business, they're going to say, well, show me what you're trying to do. Well, that's what the business plan is for. Future small business, large growth, and more global in nature, like all the businesses that we've talked about in the global section. Have a great week. Any questions? Let me know.